Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for day 19 of Vlogmas. Yes, I've got a big old bow in my head. I just decided to throw it up and be a little crazy today. A couple years ago, when I used to be really active on Tumblr, I saw this challenge and it was 7 photos that represent you. The photos cannot be of you, so you can't be in the photos at all. It can't have people in them at all. I guess they can have animals, and you'll see mine in just a second. And they should be abstract. I thought that it would be kind of interesting if I did a live action version of this, and I'd love to tag other people to see if they'd be interested to do this as well. I want to see, you know, those abstract images that you think best represent you, best represent your life, whether you imbue them with some symbolism, or if it's actually a photo that you took at one point in time that doesn't have people in them, but it really represents something important to you. So I wanted to show you guys these 7 images, and I'll explain them just a little bit, and I'd love to tag some people to do this. So Miss Emily Duncan, it'd be really cool if you did this. Amanda Bucci, I'd love to see you do this. Yami Mufti, I'd love to see you do this. Ladies, if you're up to the challenge, find 7 photos that represent you. Again, it can't have any people in them. It can't be a photo of you, but it can be a photo that you've taken at some point in time. Okay, so here is my first photo. I think that this photo is pretty self-explanatory. It is a bunch of beautiful tomes, books. And if you notice, each one of these books is ornately designed, and I think that's just so beautiful. I chose this photo primarily because I'm so interested in literature, and I think that books in particular are just beautiful places to explore your own mind, and that can be even more intriguing than exploring the outside world. But I chose books lined up like this because it reminds me of books in a library. So rather than just books kind of stacked high as you'd see them on my desk, or even just books that you'd see like in a regular bookcase, I liked this up close and personal view of these different books and all of their different colors and all of their different ornate designs. I think what is so interesting about literature to me is that though each one of these rectangles though each one of these rectangles is on its own just a simple book, these books contain infinite worlds, and you can notice that each one of them is a little bit different from the next one. And so I think that sort of symbolizes us as people and me as a reader. You can get so much out of books, and that each book is so different and can take you to a new place. Okay, my next photo is this. I chose this photo because it actually reminds me of my family. So lavender, or lupines, actually reminds me of this story that my mom used to tell me. It's a book, I think it's called Miss Rumphius, and she's known as the lupine lady, and she kind of scatters lupine seeds everywhere that she goes. I think that this photo really stands out to me because lavender, number 1, is one of my favorite colors, and also this idea of sending off seeds everywhere you go, that it doesn't have to be always an active thing. You might not actually be trying to act upon someone and impact their lives, but like the lupine lady, if you scatter seeds here and there, you can grow these beautiful fields of tall lavender lupine flowers. And I think that is so beautiful, that sometimes you don't know the impact that you have on other people, but that if you, at least in passing, spread some of the good that you have inside of you, that you can impact people in those indirect ways. So not only does this then remind me of my family and sort of the stories that my mom used to tell me growing up, but it also kind of reminds me of who I am today and the power that I have through the platform that I've been privileged to have. My next photo is this. I chose this photo because, sort of like the lupines, the lavenders in the last photo, this is beautiful small little lights sort of at dusk. And you can see kind of the lights in the background. They haven't gone on quite yet, but you've just got these tree lights shining. And this reminds me of my favorite time of day. I am not a morning person, but I'm also not really an afternoon person when the sun is really high above and it's really kind of beating down and hot. I love it when it's turning to dusk. Now, I like dusk when dusk is closer to 8 p.m., not right now in December when it's closer to like 4:30, but this is one of my favorite times of day because especially in California, it's still kind of warm outside, and this is when I've always had some of my best memories. This is when Kyle and I would first meet up when we were first dating, because he would get off of work and we'd kind of go to the gym and then we'd walk around and hang out, and it was always sort of when there's just a little bit of light left, but the lights in the trees started to come on. Environment is everything to me, and I love just soaking that up and enjoying my time with other people, so that's what this picture sort of represents to me. My next image is this one. Yes, this is a little hedgehog held in the hands of someone that's off of the picture. But I love this photo because it represents a really sort of quirky part of me, which is I love tiny little things. I've said this many times on Periscope, and some of the people that are part of my Periscope 50 group, they know this. Little mini things are my favorite ever. So like my dog, Leia, the fact that she's got tiny little tiny baby legs, my favorite. Anything that's a mini version of something else, if any of you have seen those videos where they're cooking tiny little cakes or tiny little eggs, that is my favorite. I don't know what it is, but anything that is mini is my favorite. And pretty much everyone knows by this point, I eat with mini forks and mini spoons. I don't eat with like normal sized utensils. I will seek them out at World Market. So anything that's mini and tiny and cute is my favorite. But I also love this photo because I love animals, of course. And I thought about putting a corgi in here, but then when I saw this photo, I was like, nope, this is definitely much more me because it's just super quirky, just like hedgehogs are. I mean, they're little balls with spikes and they've got a tiny little nose. It's the goofiest thing. And so I think this definitely represents sort of who I am as a person. Okay, my next image is this. So sort of to go along with the very first image, which was that picture of a bunch of different books, this is some bound letters and text. You can tell that these are sort of old worn letters and they're tied up with twine. And what this represents to me is one of my favorite sayings, which is language is not neutral. Language has power, and the words that you write, the words that you say, and the words that you give from yourself to someone else, they have the power to make a huge impact. And so I'm always reminding myself of that what you say and what you do go hand in hand, but that language is a resource, that language is power, and that if you know how to harness that, then you can actually manipulate people, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. But the idea of language being able to kind of stay forever, that you can immortalize yourself through the words that you write down on the page, that's beautiful to me. So again, to tap into that idea of literature and the ways in which authors that have been long past have impacted me, I think that that's sort of what this image represents to me. Two more images, so the next to last one is this one. So this image to me is probably the most sad one, or maybe the one that is not something that is super happy. So when you look at this image, you might just see hands that are holding water and water is sort of dripping out from the bottom of those hands, or you might see that person is sort of washing and cleansing themselves. The first time that I saw this image, I actually saw a bit of sadness because what I realized is that everything in life is fleeting. Even if you try to hold on to things, they will slip away from you. And though it might be something that is pure and beautiful, that you want, that you use as something to cleanse you, like water, right? When we're washing our hands, that sometimes it slips away from you and you lose it. And I think that what this kind of represents to me is the loss and sort of the struggles that I've had in my life, and the things that I've tried to hold on to, or the things that I've tried to have control over that I never really can, right? You can't have control over water. You can't have control over the sea. You just have to let it be. And if it slips away from you, it slips away from you. So I chose this image because I think that I always want to be reminded that things will go away, that this too shall pass. But this too shall pass also means that you will lose things, that you will miss out on things, and that's okay. And here's my very last image. So this image encompasses two of my most favorite things ever, sweets and coffee. Now, this probably could be hot chocolate, but I just imagine when I see it that it's coffee. And I love that it's in a little heart mug. And I wanted to include this one because this shows some of the most joyful things about my life. Good food, and especially warm food. Those are things that just bless my soul. And especially cupcakes and sugar and foam in hearts and adorableness. This is something that absolutely represents me and the things that I love about food. So I hope that this video was kind of fun for you guys, that you got to see a couple of the things that really represent me, at least symbolically, and I hope that you guys will choose to do this challenge as well. So again, Miss Emily, Miss Yami, Miss Amanda, if you guys are interested in doing this, please let me know, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye!